Hi, my babies, and welcome back to another video. It's your girl, Virgo Garden. If you don't know, now you know. Anything you need to know about little old me will be down below in the description box. You do not have to be a Virgo to watch this video. Hi, my babies. Hi, my babies. Hi. I hope everyone's doing well and swell. So today, we are going to be digging back into some of that deep healing like I've been telling y'all for the last 2 weeks. This is about some heavy root chakra energy. All these energetic shifts that we had is all about healing that root chakra so that you may elevate. So, I mean, it's only fitting that this fits right in with it. So, before we get into it, quick announcements. Do not forget, until September 23rd, I am taking birthday forecast readings that are $10, so you know how your next year is going to go. And also until the end of September, when you enter the code I love VG in all caps, you get everything FAB Boutique, Queen Alchemy, and Virgo Garden for 33% off. So this was supposed to be a couch talk, but it's going to be a Sunday mimosa today. This is actually going to get us started back with the couch talk. So this is going to be about why breaking generational curses matter, okay? This might be just a little bit unorganized and all over the place. I mean, we're speaking about my parents, okay? It's a lot that goes into these people here. But without them, I would not be here. So do remember, especially if you're needing to heal from your parents, even though they may get on your last nerve, even though they may get under your skin, they are responsible, well, partially responsible for why you are here. So there has to be some sort of gratitude there towards them, okay? So hopefully that helps someone towards their healing. Now, we're going to kind of bounce back and forth in between the two of them, okay? So, like I said, it might be a little bit all over the place, but just try to follow. So I already did a Sunday mimosa about my parents. I believe it's the one called Unable versus Unwilling. So it's more details there about them if you would like to know. We kind of going to brush over some things here, all honesty. First thing is, in between my mother having me and my sister is 6 years older than me. In between her having me and my sister, my mother was raped. Not only was my mother raped, she was raped in the city that I ended up growing up in. Not the city I was born in, not my hometown, but the city I ended up growing up in. So this is why I want y'all to understand how the spiritual shit works, okay? Because when you're in your mother's womb, whatever it is that she has gone through before having you, whatever it is that she goes through while she's pregnant with you, and immediately after having you, affects you, and it affects the path that you walk. Although a lot of people don't believe it does, this here is proof that it does. Because I went through way more sexual trauma than my sister did. Because she had my sister before she was raped. That is the only sexual trauma my mother has ever had. However, it's not a light one. So that kind of helped put a perspective on why I keep getting touched, sexually assaulted, and violated by not only family members, but strangers, people that I may have known for years, okay? And that plays into the generational curses. So, the story of how my parents met. I tell you, I'm still getting pieces of this shit. I lie to you not. But for right now, today years old, this is what we have. My mother was working at a local grocery store out here, and come to find out, my father was the manager. That was new information I did not know until this year, okay? So my mom, she worked in a certain department. I'm not going to say which one, but she worked in a certain department, and my father was the store manager. I did not know this shit. But anyways, so I know for a fact he used to flirt with her. They used to talk about football, things of that nature. My mom is a huge football fan, okay? She's been a Dallas Cowboy fan for like 50-something years, okay? And my pops, he's an Eagle fan, so you already know. To anybody that watch football, you already understand. That's a long conversation to be had, okay? So that's kind of like how their friendship and stuff started, and he like kept flirting with her, and I guess she started to like him. They started flirting back with each other, and he ended up started giving her rides home from work. And I guess rides home from work ended up going to dating or something like that. I think my pops got fired or something. They ended up going on a date, and then voila, magic. Okay, a few months later, my mama pregnant with me. All right, basically. Now, this is the problem. My mama knew he already had 2 kids. Not only did he have 2 kids, he was also living with his baby mama. Now, the story that he told my mama that I got through my grandmother, who has no reason to lie to me, told me that my father told her back in the day that he didn't want to kick his baby mama out because she ain't had nowhere to go, and he would feel bad because that's the mother of his children, and that's the only reason why she's still living there. Fast forward to December 25th, 1989. My mother does not know that she's already pregnant with me, but oh, Nina was on her way to touch down on this lovely place that we call Earth to bless y'all with my presence, okay? The problem is, the baby mama that he already got 2 kids with, they're at her mother's house, and come to find out, she's also pregnant. So her mama was like, well, this is baby number 3. What are you gonna do? You gonna marry my child or not? And my pops, being the smart ass person that he is, said, if you go get a preacher, I'll marry your daughter right now. I don't know why he did not think that this lady had a preacher on standby. So according to my father, that is how him and his wife got married. My now stepmother. Okay? My mother found out in February she was pregnant with me. Yeah. So, fast forward to April 1990, I have a brother that is born. Fast forward 5 months later, I'm born. I have a brother that is 5 months older than me. Yeah. Pay attention, I say. Now, when I was a little girl, I don't remember, like, hearing anything about my siblings. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 years old. I don't really remember hearing anything about my siblings. But what I do remember is my father used to come over a lot. He used to spend time with me. He used to come and kick it for a few hours. Like, he used to take us out. He used to bring me gifts. Like, he was a good dad. Even though he wasn't living in the home, he was a good dad. I remember him and my mother, they were always touching and kissing and stuff. They were in love, okay? These are things I remember, not something that someone told me. These are things I saw with my own eyes. Now, fast forward to, we moved to the city I ended up growing up in, which is the city my mother got raped in. I remember I was 8 years old. So by this point in time, my parents had been together for almost 9 years. Okay, they were together for 8 years, but almost 9 years. I'm 8 years old. I remember me and my mom were waiting for my pops to come over. And I always used to wait on the couch for him to come over. And he usually showed up. This particular night, I remember I spent time with him like I always do. And I was supposed to go to bed because I had to go to school the next day. So they always stay up. They have conversation, this, that, and the third. I think my mom came and woke me up and told me to say bye to my dad, or either I got up naturally when he was about to leave. And I remember my mama did not want to touch that man. She didn't want to go nowhere near that man. And I had to literally take both of their legs, push them together, and force them to hug. My dad's laughing. He thinks it's funny. And my mom got her arms crossed, and she got, her face was balled up. She had an attitude, and I could tell she did not want to be bothered with my father. Once again, these are things that I saw with my own eyes, not something that someone told me. Come to find out, that was the night that my mother found out that my father was married. She did not find out until 8 years later. Right. How she found out was he bought her this bill and told him, look at how much they charged me. And when she looked on the paper, she saw his name and she saw her name, and she had his last name. So it was somewhere around that time I remember finding out about my siblings. I knew a little bit before then because he would tell me stories. Like, I remember he said he had dropped my brothers off at my grandma's house, and my brother cursed, and my grandma washed his mouth out with soap. So like I remember stories like that he would tell me, but I hadn't met them. Also, once my mother found out that my father was married, she broke up with him. And that's when the visits kind of started slowing down some. Yeah. However, my mother was with this man for 8 years. They were in love. So she took him back. I'm pretty sure he swindled his way back somehow. So then the visits started kind of picking back up again. Okay, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So I remember I got tired of hearing about my siblings and I wanted to meet them. Like I'm growing up with my oldest sister on my mom's side. And I'm like, I want to know what my other siblings are like, because me and my oldest sister on my mom's side, we never really got along because she was jealous because I was the baby and she was used to being by herself. That's not my problem though. So I remember I told my mom I want to have a relationship with my siblings, and she said, okay, well, we'll sit down and, we'll speak to your father about it. So he came and got us, and he always picked my sister up too, not just me. So it was me, mom, and my sister, and he always took us to Pizza Hut, like, because pizza is my favorite food still to this day. I'm literally eating pizza tonight for dinner, okay? Pizza is my favorite food, all right? So we go to Pizza Hut, which was my favorite place to eat pizza. And I'm 13 years old, and I'm having this conversation with my father. Well, I was 12 either I was 12 or 13, y'all. I don't exactly remember. I think I was 13 though, and I was having a conversation with my father, letting him know I want to meet my siblings. I don't want to go my whole childhood without growing up without my siblings and having some sort of memories with them. And I remember he told me, he said, if I do that, he said, our relationship will change. Now, as a child, I couldn't fully comprehend, what does my relationship with my father have to do with my relationship with my siblings? Why can't I have a relationship with my father and with my siblings? I didn't understand that. And the reason why is because his wife did not know about me. And that's what he meant when he said our relationship would change. Because he knew she was not going to allow him to be around me as much as he was, even though he was barely there at that point. So also around this time is when my favorite auntie passed away, which is my mom's sister. And my mom ended up breaking up with my father. She just couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't play the side chick, which I don't blame her. But I mean, she was in love with the man, so it's kind of hard to, 8 years, y'all done made a love child. It's kind of hard to cut somebody off. So I understand why she went back. I'm not agreeing with it, but I understand why she went back. And I ain't one to judge. Got to make my own damn mistakes, okay? Now, like I said, around this time, my favorite auntie had passed. So that is when I noticed the change in my mother. She wasn't as fun as she used to be. She wasn't really attentive, but the little bit of attention I was getting, I was not getting that anymore. It's like she didn't used to like go out with us like she used to. It's like she fell into a depression. I didn't understand what depression was then though. Like she lost her baby sister, who she didn't necessarily get along with the best, but loved a lot. And then the whole thing with my father, and it was just a lot. So my mom fell into a depression and I didn't realize that, but she definitely changed on me. Yeah, that's when our relationship started going downhill. I had to literally sit, think, and meditate and pinpoint, when did my relationship start going downhill with my mother? And when y'all are working on y'all healing with y'all parents, I want y'all to think about that too. Exactly when did the relationship start going downhill? What are the good memories that I do have with them? All of this is going to help with your healing. So yeah, my mom, she switched up, and my father wasn't coming around because he finally told my stepmother, and she was like, oh hell no, you can't go nowhere near them. And once again, I don't know, I mean, I understand her viewpoint, but him being a father to me don't mean he gotta fuck my mama, okay? But I guess she know her husband, so yeah, my pop stopped coming around because his wife said she don't want him to have nothing to do with me. So that's when also the relationship with my father changed drastically as well. So 13 is kind of like, when I turned 13, my parents abandoned me, bruh. It's like neither one of them were there, and I was living with one of them. They weren't there mentally, emotionally. I mean, they were financially supportive, yeah, but that's about it. And a child needs more than that, especially a teenager or preteen. A child definitely needs more than that. And then I just went through a drastic life change as well, because yeah, my mom lost her sister, but I also lost my auntie. She's also my godmother, and she's also was like another mother to me. She was getting me out of the house. I was staying the weekend with her. She knew something was wrong with me. Far as she didn't know I was getting molested, but she knew there was something wrong, and she was trying to pull it out of me. But unfortunately, she passed away before she was able to. So I felt like I lost the only support that I had, the only person that really genuinely loved me. Because my auntie showed it to me. She didn't just say it, she showed it to me. And my parents didn't. I went from being a love child to the mistress child. Yeah, my life changed drastically. So this is when I started acting out, getting in trouble in school. If you go back and you watch the high school couch talks, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So we ain't got to get all into the details of that. And like I also said in, I believe it was the 11th grade high school couch talk, that I called my father right after I got dropped back off at school, and I had almost got raped. And he told me it was my fault. This was also the same year that I got in trouble for shoplifting at Rite Aid, and my father found out that I left school once again, and I got in trouble with the police. Got a police call on me for shoplifting at Rite Aid. My father stopped talking to me for an entire year. I didn't talk to my father again until I was 17. Yeah. I asked him why he didn't speak to me for a year. He told me because I did something that he didn't agree with. And now, as I'm sitting here doing this couch talk, I am realizing why I have issues with love, with men. My father loved me with conditions. So I tend to pick men that love me with conditions. And because I got tired of getting hurt, that's how I started loving. With conditions. Oh, you don't do this, you don't say that, I'm out. And that's not love. Love is loving somebody through the hard times. Love is loving somebody and allowing them to grow and develop into a better person. Not abandoning them or jumping ship because it's not going your way. So that's something I've definitely actually have been working on. At least this last week for sure. This last week I've been doing a lot of healing. But I didn't understand where I picked that shit up from until just now, literally sitting here doing this. That is amazing. This is why I say pay attention and stay aware, y'all. So yeah. Basically I had to jump through hoops in order to get my father's attention. And sometimes I would get tired of it, so I would rebel and go the opposite way with it. I also dropped out of high school 3 times, and my father definitely didn't agree with that shit. Now, I didn't necessarily finish the high school couch talks. It's like probably another year of high school kind of left up in there. Like I said, I dropped out of high school 3 times, but that's going to tie into my ex-fiance, which is coming up next after the next series. So this is why we got to go ahead and get this done, because not only does this help y'all, but this helps me with my healing as well. As y'all just saw, I just had an epiphany. So when I was 18, my paternal grandmother passed away. And my father didn't call me to tell me she was in the hospital. My grandfather actually called me. So I didn't get to spend any time with my paternal grandmother until she, like her last week of living, basically. I went to go visit her in the hospital. They transferred her to a nursing home. And every day except for one day, I went to go see her every day in that nursing home, because I knew that was the only time I was going to get to spend with my grandmother. The amazing thing is she knew who I was. Even though I didn't grow up around her, she kept calling me the baby, because that's what she called me anyway, the baby, because I'm the baby. And she just kept saying, I love you, I love you. That's all my grandma kept every time I came to visit her. Just every time I went near her bed, every time I looked at her, she was, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm like, I love you too, grandma. And I knew she was feeling guilty because she allowed my father to keep us from having a relationship. My father told me when he went to go clean her house out, he ended up coming across this drawer. And in this drawer, it was just full of pictures of me. He said, I don't even know where she even got all these pictures from, Nina. And he said it was just full of pictures of me. So I know for sure that my grandmother definitely loved me. So that also put a strain on me and my father's relationship. I'm like, why when you call me and tell me that my grandmother's in the hospital? Why didn't you call me and tell me my grandmother passed away? Why you didn't call me and tell me where her funeral was and this, that, and the third? I had to get all of that information through other family members. And unfortunately, at this funeral, my stepmother is following me all around the part after when everybody eating stuff. She's following me all around. Like, I was so uncomfortable. I had to leave. Because everybody was trying to take pictures with me. Because everybody else knew who I was. She didn't. But everybody else, she figured it out, though. Because that's why she kept following me around. Because me and my sister look alike. Everybody keeps saying that we look like twins. We do not look like twins. Okay. I am the cuter one. Okay. I am the cuter one. All right. But we do favor each other. You could tell me and my sister on my pop side are sisters. You could not tell me and my sister on my mom's side are sisters at all. But yeah, we favor each other. So she figured it out, and everybody want to take pictures with me, and they excited to see me and stuff because they don't see me like that. She figured it out. That lady followed me all around. I had to call my mama to come pick me up. I said, I'm uncomfortable. Please come get me. Now, also when I turned 18, like most 18-year-olds, I had the mindset, I'm grown. Fuck y'all. This, that, and the third. So me and my pops used to get into a lot of arguments. And I remember one time my cousin was over there, and y'all remember the old flip phones back in the day? Well, they used to be really, really loud. If you sitting in a quiet room, the person sitting in the room can hear your conversation too. And me and my father was going back and forth. And I remember my father told me, he said, I'm responsible for you being here. I gave you life. I said, no, you not. God's responsible for me being here. He said, no, I'm responsible for you being here. I said, God and my mama is responsible for me being here. He said, no, I'm responsible for you being here because I could have left you on a hotel sheet. This is the type of father that I have. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. So, if you go back and watch Another Sunday in Mimosa, I don't remember which one it was, but basically it tied into this type of topic about breaking generational curses, and it was the one that I spoke about Papi Chulo. And Papi Chulo was married. He was separated, but he was married. And this is why I say it's important to break generational curses. Because if I was in my right mind state, I wouldn't have messed with no married man. We started off as friends. Well, go watch the Sunday Mimosa. You'll find out how that situation happened and then how that also turned out for me. Okay, hard lesson learned. But it was not my intentions to end up messing with a married man. But we was both heartbroken, and he needed a friend. And in the process of being his friend, we ended up falling in love with each other. But this is why I say heal that sacral chakra, because the things that you hold in your sacral chakra ends up popping up later on in your life. So, after me and Papi Chulo had broke up, I, of course, was depressed, and for some reason, me and my father were spending a lot of time together. He had just retired, and like he was coming picking me up from work a lot. He was being very dependable. I don't understand what was going on that was making him so dependable, other than the fact I know for sure he was rebelling against his wife. Because not only was he spending a lot of time coming picking me up and this, that, and the third, he also was cheating on his wife again. I wish I could find this lady Facebook, because I had her Facebook, but I decided not to be petty and deleted the screenshot out my phone. Now I can't find a fucking Facebook. But my grandfather, my dad's father, knew that he was cheating on his wife in 2013 with a white lady with red hair that he met at Walmart. Okay, oh, I'm gonna put it all out there, okay? And she stayed in the country, and I mean the country. She don't stay nowhere near this area. She stayed in the country, and he's trying to get me to move in with her, his mistress, who got brothers who don't like him because he black. So you think they want me living there with their sister? Are you crazy? This is how this man treats me, as if I am a throwaway. And this is why I kept picking men that threw me away. It was hard for me to find my value when the first man in my life broke my heart. So to any man that is listening, that has a daughter, please remember that shit. You are your daughter's first love. Please don't break her heart, okay? So, also, when I turned 18, that's when me and my mother's relationship became more strained as well. I started realizing that she favored my sister more. My sister was allowed to lay around and sit on her ass. My sister dropped out of high school. She don't have a license. Like, it's so many things we could go on and on about. And I'm the opposite. I'm ambitious, this, that, and the third. But unfortunately, I caught charges when I was 18 that are still biting me in the ass today. When I go fill out a job application, I still have to put that I have charges. And it's 13 years later, okay? That's another lesson. Don't catch criminal charges. They will follow you everywhere you go, okay? So me and my mother's relationship became more strained because of my sister, and she was still kind of stuck in her bitterness and the way that she would speak to me. She would say mean things to me, like when I would like complain about something, which wasn't too often, she would call me a wimp. And I'm thinking in my head, you just don't know how strong I am. She knows now because she knows a lot of stuff I've been through. But my parents were verbally like abusive, yo. Mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. Like, and then I wonder why I was able to allow myself to almost marry someone that was abusive. This is why. And this is why I tell y'all, it is important to hear. Also, my father found out about my miscarriage, my last one. And when he found out about it, I told him about it. He distanced himself from me. He stopped talking to me again. I think he stopped talking to me for like 6 months or something like that. When at that point in time, I needed support. He abandoned me again. And I wonder why I keep ending up in relationships where I be abandoned, okay? Or at least my emotions be abandoned. And not only did he abandon me again, I also heard he was talking bad about me to my family on his side. Which I already had a strain with these people anyway. It was already a strain on our relationship. He told me I'm smoking weed and fighting police and this, that, and the third. And they just believe in whatever because they're thinking he's being active in my life, not knowing that he was a deadbeat. I'm just saying, okay? So me and my mother's relationship was also strained because she didn't trust me from, if you go back and watch the high school couch talks, 10th grade year, the boyfriend that I had. Also because I was skipping school and I used to steal her car, which y'all gonna find out about when we get into the one about my ex-fiance. Gracious, I used to steal that car. Oh, we was actually talking about that today. That's the crazy thing about how much I used to steal her car and how she used to try to come up with different ways to hide the keys. I'm a Virgo, baby. Okay, I was gonna get them keys. Okay, we was whipping. Okay, with a permit. Okay, was whipping. But she didn't trust me because I was still in the car and because of the boyfriend from 10th grade. And also a situation that I'm going to say for the ex-fiance story, but it's juicy. A situation that happened with that when he moved in with us, and she didn't trust me because of that either. So because she didn't trust me, that made me not trust her. Because she didn't trust me, like I said, it put more of a strain on our relationship. Because why are you accusing me of this, that, and the third when I'm not doing it? When you got a daughter in here that is way worse than me. And I just didn't understand why my mom was being so hard on me. Like, when I dropped out of high school the first time, she was extremely hard on me. Like, I had to do all types of chores and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, my sister, she's not in college. I mean, she graduated from high school. She's not in college. She's not working. She doesn't have a license. And she just gets to lay in bed all day. We are the complete opposite. So when I started realizing, oh, you favor my sister more than you favor me, oh yeah, we definitely had some issues. So also, when my mother found out about me being molested, she didn't do anything about it. She found out about the first person when I was 18. Y'all gonna find out that story when I talk about my siblings. And then she also found out about the rest of them when I was 26. And when she found out about the rest of them, I actually was having a breakdown. And I was suicidal at the point in time. And I guess in my mind, I guess she would have got it. She would have tried to spring into action, do something to help her daughter. And she didn't do anything about it. Not only did she not do anything about it, she was still letting those people come around me, which was adding more to my triggers and adding more of a strain onto our relationship. So my pop's family actually was trying to get to know me. They was trying to, invite me here, there. I got invited to a few weddings and things of that nature and dinners and stuff. And my pops didn't want me coming to any of the family events. Like, my cousin actually called me while they were at the family reunion, like, yo, where the fuck you at? I'm like, what you talking about? And he was like, everybody here at the family reunion, where are you? I'm like, I'm just now hearing about this. And that's when I realized, you never wanted me. My father never wanted me. And I've told y'all before, when you are forming in your mother's womb, you already know how your parents feel towards you. It's an energetic thing. I had already picked up on that. So it's no surprise that our relationship is still strained to this day. I mean, this very day. Far as me and my mom, it's still, we're still working through it. I'll say that, but it's the talking about certain family members or wanting certain family members to come over and this, that, and the third that has put a serious strain on us. Like, even moving and just like so many different things that y'all gonna hear about later. But basically, to put in short, I have an extremely strained relationship with both of my parents. Where me and my pops is at right now, a couple years ago, we tried to sit down, and you know what? I actually vlogged it. I forgot which vlog it was, but it's like a quick clip, a very quick clip. And I just kind of like panned the restaurant, and you kind of see part of my dad, but not really. I think it was 2021. He took me to dinner at this vegan spot. We ordered the food. The owner was flirting with her and she was getting on my fucking nerves. But we ordered the food in her little dirty ass restaurant. And before the food could even come to the table, we're discussing what we're about to discuss, right? And I was like, I forgot exactly what I said, but it was somewhere along the lines of, the reason why I'm fucked up the way I am is because of the way your family and you have treated me. And the first thing this man say out his mouth is, my family ain't the one with the issue. Oh, baby. I said, what? He said, my family ain't the one with the issue. So I took that as you trying to say I'm the one with the issues and everything is my fault. I said, bet. Soon as the waiter started coming with the food, I said, baby, go on, pack that up. We about to go. Okay, we about to go. Go on, pack all that up. Ain't no need for that. Go on, pack it all up. He turned around. He was like, okay. I was over it, y'all. I told that man drop me off. I was so over it. I done spent time putting on makeup and getting dressed up. Because when you say you're going to take me out, I don't care if it's a family member or a romantic date. That is one thing I can say my father taught me. When somebody say they taking you out to dinner, baby, you dress the fuck down. Do you hear me? And every time I go out, I make sure I dress the fuck down. We going to dinner? Oh, okay. I'll make sure some next term when we go. So I done spent all this time getting ready for us to literally sit down for 5 minutes for you to say everything is my fault. Oh, baby, conversation over, okay? Take me home. I got weed, food, and Marley at home. I'd rather be there. Cause I was cooking when he came to pick me up. I was cooking for my house anyway. I'm like, I got dinner at home. I ain't got to eat this nasty shit. Oh, sticky ass floor. No, thank you. So that dinner didn't go well. And also last year, as y'all saw, if you did see the vlog, the last vlog I posted, I did try to commit suicide. Well, I was suicidal. I'm not going to say I tried to commit suicide, but I was suicidal in that particular video. That exact moment in that video is this exact moment I'm speaking of right here. I called my father. We got into an argument. I was trying to tell the man I was suicidal. He told me he didn't care, okay? Because I told him I was over him lying to his wife. We ended up going back and forth, and it just made it worse. And it made me realize my father really don't love me, y'all. He say that he do all day. And this is why when I'm dating someone, not only do you have to say I love you, you have to show me too. You can't just show me. You gotta say it too. And it comes from that. And that's okay. That is a requirement that I have and a boundary that I have now that I have developed. It is a healthy one and it's just my requirements. Instead of me abandoning people and neglecting people like I used to, like he does, I communicate now what it is that I need. That is something that I can say I have learned from the man, okay, out of all of this negativity. But basically, my father is part of the reason why that video even happened in the last vlog that I posted, because he told me, Nina, I don't give a fuck that you want to kill yourself right now. My mother and my grandmother also were a part of that as well, because family issues came up. And this is why I say it's important to break generational curses, because how are we going to be able to get anywhere if no one wants to take self-accountability, if no one wants to listen, and no one wants to see someone else's perspective? I can understand it was not y'all intentions for me to get hurt as a child, but it happened. How can we go about correcting this so it doesn't happen to the next generation? That's why some of y'all go through certain struggles and things like y'all do, because you are the chain breaker in your family. It's a lot more requirements and responsibility when it comes to you. You can't move like how everybody else do. Unfortunately, my uncle passed away last month, and my father did hit up my mama and told my mama to tell me to call him. Just so happened, probably a week or two before that, my father randomly texts me. I text him back in February. He just randomly texts me back. Narcissistic as fuck. But I told him, I love you. I hope that you forgive me. I apologize. And I'm not mad at you anymore. It took me to say that a few times for the man to get it. And he finally texted me back and said, okay. Are we in a great space? No. Do I give a fuck about fixing this fucking relationship with him? No. Okay? But that is my father, and I do love him, and I want him to know I apologize for disrespecting you. Even though I'm not going to get no damn apology from him, I'm okay with it. I know he was wrong. He know he was wrong. But I'm moving on from me. I forgive you for me, because you're not going to continue to hold me back and make me feel like I'm not good enough when I am more than fucking enough. Okay? So that's where me and my father relationship is at right now. It's on a pause. I'll say that much. It's on a pause. Me and my mother, after my second miscarriage, it got really, really bad between us. I went through this thing. It's like a postpartum after you have a miscarriage. And I did not realize that. And our relationship started turning abusive, more so on my end, to be quite honest with you. And no, I'm not proud of it. But it come with the, shit. What you want me to do? I'm just being honest. It was more on my end, verbally and physically. Me and my mother have gotten in many scuffles because she has said some real mad, nasty, disrespectful shit to me out of her mouth. Or most of the scuffles happen because we're having an argument and she tries to put her hands on me. Do not touch me when I am mad. I'm automatically going to go into defense mode. Am I proud of it? No, but there's plenty of you watching me that have done the same thing. It's plenty of you watching me right now sitting in your shit and not doing anything about your healing. This is why I get up here and be transparent. Because people think spirituality is some shit to fucking play with and it's something that's pretty. Oh no. When you doing that deep dark healing, oh baby. Oh baby. It gets ugly. There's actually going to be another vlog where I'm going to show y'all how ugly the shit can really get. Beyond me just being sad. I'm going to show you what the anger side of it looks like too. The only way I can get up here to help y'all to move forward, to help y'all to grow, is if I'm transparent about my own shit. If I act like everything good in my life and I ain't never really been through shit, but I'm sitting up here trying to tell you how to get through some tough shit, how the fuck can you trust me and how the fuck would you listen to me and take my advice? No, I really done been through the trenches just like y'all. Still going through it sometimes, but I'm always working on becoming a better person and doing my best to correct my wrongs. I have apologized to my mother so many times. Thank God she don't hold no anger in her heart towards me for that. And I hold no anger in my heart towards her for her times when she put her hands on me first. It's been times when I done got up on the camera and I got a scar or something on me from when me and my mama was scuffling. I'm just being all the way 100. PTSD is a bitch. But it does not mean that it gives you the right to go around and being a bitch or an asshole to everybody else too, is something I have also learned. Me and my mother, we did go homeless together and she did stick it out with me. But when we went homeless together is when the shit really started getting toxic, bruh. But like I said, we survived homelessness together. I would say we're in about a 75%, place of healing. It's not all the way there. I don't know if it'll go any further past where it is now. It might just be where we're at forever. Me just accepting her for who she is and knowing that she's going to be who she wants to be. She going to fuck with who she want to fuck with. And she don't give a fuck about protecting her child, all honesty. Because I have not felt protected by my mother yet. It's going to be times y'all going to see in them vlogs when my mother should have protected me, even though I know I'm a grown-ass person. But it was times when my mother should have protected me or at least stood up for me and said, Nina's not like that. And she didn't. So, y'all, this is why it is important for me to break these generational curses, because I have picked up some real toxic shit from my parents, and I'm trying my best not to be like them and to be better than them. I'm also trying my best to make sure I don't pass none of this shit down to my kids or put this shit off on the one I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, because they don't deserve that. They deserve the best healed version of me that I can give. Y'all deserve the best healed version of me I can give. The personal people in my life that I love and fuck with deserve the best healed version of me that I can give. I've been putting off this shit doing this video for over a year, because I know once I open up this door, I got to keep going with it. We gotta talk about the siblings. We gotta talk about the exes, the twin flames, and a whole bunch of other shit that go in between. And yeah, some of these stories gonna be entertaining as fuck. They're gonna be like, oh, Nina, oh shit, you did that, you got involved with that. Yeah, I mean, shit, I live my life. Okay, I live my life. I'm not perfect, never claim to be. I'm just always working on getting better. That's what make me dope, okay? So, I'm going to challenge y'all, okay, to do a forgiveness letter towards your parent. You might need to do it towards both of your parents or maybe just one. But I want you to lay it all out there. Try not to get too disrespectful, okay? Lay it all out there. Tell them how you feel, what they did wrong, what you would have liked, this, that, and the third. Just tell them everything that you feel. It could be as long as you want it to be. If your parent is still alive, I challenge you one day to be able to read that letter to them, or to give that letter to them to be able to read it. If they are not alive, if you can go to your altar or to their site, or just go to an open field somewhere or buy some water, or read the letter out loud. But you got to be able to put it on paper, not on your phone. I want you to actually write with pen and paper so you can see it. Because when you write it, you're transmuting energy. Typing does not have the same effect. Writing involves energy. Okay? You're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to address it. And like I tell y'all, you can't overcome nothing until you confront it. We are not running from our healing. This is a 7-year. We going to get this shit done. Because next year, we damn sure going to thrive. It is certain things I have learned. I got a list I'm looking at right now of things that I need to heal from my parents. For instance, picking men that don't know how to be faithful or that are immature from my father, or men that lie or have a child outside the marriage. That is a common thing. There's at least 3 men I could think of off the top of my head on my pop's side that had a child outside the marriage. That is something I am trying to break. My mama, as far as being a single woman, a single mother, being sexually assaulted, hardworking and having no life. I'm getting my life back now, thank God. Being scared to love. And also on my mother's side, something y'all gonna find out with the sibling thing, is sister jealousy. Like one sister being jealous of another sister. This is at least 3 generations I have noticed. So I really want y'all to sit and reflect about the things that you've gone through with your parents, but also try to give them some grace, y'all. Because they went through shit with their parents, and they went through shit in their life, and they didn't know what the fuck they was doing. Work on your forgiveness so this doesn't hold you down. Remember, we doing that deep root chakra healing because we are elevating. It is time for us to come out of survival mode, and it is time for us to thrive. So, all right, babies. I'm your girl, Virgo Garden. If you didn't know that shit, I bet you know that shit now. How to follow me, how to book me, and how to get my wonderful, beautiful, amazing products that you all love so much will be down below in the description box. I love you, babies. I'm sorry, but I gotta go ahead. Matter of fact, I ain't even sorry. I gotta go ahead and pat myself on the back right quick. Cause God damn it, I've been procrastinating with this shit. And this is what I be meaning when I say stop procrastinating with your healing. I feel a lot better. And this has also helped me put some things into perspective. Definitely got some meditating I need to do after this. But y'all, it is time to address it. It's time to stop running from it. It is time to buckle down and handle your shit. How can you expect for new things to come in when you are still holding on to the old? Think about it. Love you, babies. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Mwah.